Last week, we set up the vision and the mission statement, which may have prompted you to plan a meeting. So, did you? I've attended my fair share of business and church meetings, and there is a sliding scale. Some I walked away with action steps, feeling empowered, ready to work, while others continued with long conversations, back and forth emails, text messages, which of course led to another meeting about the meeting that we didn't have because we didn't have the information and some of the participants weren't participating. So if you have ever conducted or participated in a meeting that left you with more questions than answers, then please keep watching. Hello, I am Torrie, a life coach and media ministry consultant living here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I help churches and faith-driven organizations strengthen their online presence, improve communication between staff and volunteers, and of course, media, which includes branding, publicity, because let's face it, Jesus is famous, okay? If you find value in that type of content, please let YouTube know by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified when there is a new tutorial. If you're watching this via Facebook, hey y'all, hey, please consider following Torrie Slaughter LLC. Share us with your friends, family, coworkers, and other leaders. Thank you and welcome. And to my OG Purpose Talkers, let's get started on purpose, with purpose, because we are doing this for God's grand purpose. Now, in today's video, this is not an exhaustive list of the different types of meetings you can conduct, but today we're going to focus on 8 that I believe most churches and organizations will use. Think of your meetings like a restaurant or a movie. If you go to a sci-fi, you know what to expect. Romantic comedy, steakhouse, okay? Your meetings are not church, okay? This is not the time to surprise your congregants or even test your staff. This is a time for you as a leader to empower, encourage others to give their best. We're going to tackle each one of these meetings. I'm going to give you a brief description and you can decide which one you need to have. First up is the traditional board meeting, and it is called to order by the presiding officer. The roll is called here, present. The approval of the agenda, the previous meeting minutes, officer reports, committee reports, new, old business, and then the meeting is adjourned. By definition, a board meeting is formal. It aims to meet the directors of an organization and the invited guests. These meetings are held in definite intervals and as needed to review performance, consider policies, major issues, and perform legal business of the board. Traditional board meeting, call to order. So next up is the one-on-one meeting, and these are probably some of my favorite because they're casual and they reveal so much. One-on-ones refer to meetings between one staff member and one level of leadership, so whoever's in your ministry. Generally, you might schedule a one-on-one regularly between team members and their direct level of management. You, as a leader or one of your team members, could meet with staff to get a better idea of overall morale and how processes run in the trenches. Quick example, there was a senior pastor at a mega church who had a one-on-one meeting with a parking attendant. And the parking attendant was concerned about the number of people crossing the busy intersection after church service to get to the public parking space that was across the street. So because they had this casual one-on-one meeting, the senior pastor brought this to the attention of the congregation and ended up changing the flow of traffic after service was dismissed. One-on-ones are fantastic opportunities to meet weekly or twice a month with staff because it improves relationship. You're opening the door to your staff to voice concerns and creatively problem solve. It is an incredible way to uncover issues that you as a leader may not have even known about or present solutions that you never would have thought of. But even with all of that said, Let's be very mindful of the fact that you still need to write it down. You need to have an agenda so it stays away from the personal conversations and you're able to capitalize on the information. You will be able to bring into memory or remembrance what that person is capable of so you can utilize them in the most efficient way. Next, after the one-on-one meetings, is team building meetings. Yay! This is the skip to the good part. Okay, but you can have some fun, enjoy fellowship with one another, all while gathering helpful intel in a casual environment. Mm-hmm. But honestly, these meetings are designed to build trust and through structured activities. So think of things like escape rooms, scavenger hunts, trivia games, or of course the tried and true fall back and allow your team member to catch you. That's a quick way to discover the fears or perhaps the lingering doubts that exist, and you can go ahead and address those. The goal of team building is to encourage communication, build trust, and care. If individuals focus on how to exhibit appreciation and love for what others do, that's beneficial. Remember, team building should be memorable and fun, full of smiles, laughter. So that means you, as a leader, need to loosen up that collar and get involved as well. Yes, you. Yes, you. Next up is the training meeting. I have attended some incredible seminars, webinars, symposiums, workshops, all of those things. And it is an opportunity for you as a church or organization to bring in a presenter to share materials with your group. But the main thing you want is a presenter that keeps everyone engaged, so choose wisely. You want your team, your staff, your employees, your ministers to come away with positive memories and, of course, information. That's the point, right? Training. Next up is the status update. I think these are stacking up pretty well. I hope you're following along, okay? But the status update is a little tricky because this is that need to know information, but the point is to keep it brief. You don't give participants the chance to go off into the deep end because the goal is, again, expediency, is to get the questions answered. Is there anything blocking your progress? What is our next step? Has it been completing? What can I do to help? This is the ask, answer, and move on. You're going to consider everyone's schedule at this point because if you're all in the same building, it's easy to gather everyone together. But if you are spread out, you need to consider either a virtual meeting or an email. Again, keep it brief. This is a status update. This is some information. This is a quick share. We've already had the training meeting, the business meeting, all the other ones. We want to focus on expediency, brevity, questions answered, questions answered. Our next one is the innovation or the brainstorming. Okay, let the creatives out their boxes and grab the crayons, the markers, the whatever, because it's time to freely discuss all the ideas, good and bad. This is the place where projects are pitched, rejected, and built on. Some of the most successful campaigns come from these innovation and brainstorming meetings. It is still necessary to have an agenda to keep that balance focus between the creative chaos and the what are we doing with this information. But this is such an exciting time for those who really love that creative process. And because you've had those one-on-one meetings, you know who to ask. Now that you have this, again, creative extravaganza, it is time to implement the great ideas that you took away. This is the time to get thing A to thing B and not lose sight of the overall goal. How much will it cost? What are the resources we need? When will the project be complete? All of that goes into a planning meeting. Kickoff. Yes. I don't want to disappoint you. Even with the glitter. I don't want to disappoint you, but every project does not need a kickoff meeting. It does not. The main goal is to bring clarity to the project and make sure everyone is on the same page, that every team member understands their role, next steps, The investment of time will bring excitement to the rollout and again, create some great memories. You now have a structure and some context in order to bring this to people. When you are ready to schedule a time to command the attendance of several people, it goes a long way when they know that you are prepared, you are expecting something of them, and is not done on the fly. This is such a powerful tool to use and helps with the understanding that this is more than just we're just going to show up and throw things together and see what sticks. We are taking the kingdom of God seriously. We are desiring to be great for the Lord, and we want other people to experience that greatness with us. So that takes some planning, it takes a little bit of homework, and it takes some discipline. Please join me next week where we talk about the agenda of it all, darling. Yes, the agenda of it all. We need to have some clear points. Thank you for being here. Please don't forget to check the description box for links and other helpful information, and I will see you next week.